for a while that CNN is a sinking ship, but now we actually have the numbers to back this claim. According to their most recent ratings, CNN's viewership has dropped by almost 90% since last year. And this is in both the overall audience and in the demographic coveted by advertisers. Now, the network averaged just about 548,000 viewers during the first week of January this year. And during that same week in 2021, they were close to 3 million. Talk about a nosedive. So it looks like the people have spoken. Maybe Americans are finally realizing that CNN is nothing but scandals and lies with some propaganda on top. Join me now from Reston, Virginia, director at MRC-TV, Eric Scheiner. Eric, it's great to see you. Eric, I'm always stunned that there are people who will sit down and enjoy CNN. I'm like, who is that person that just loves Brian Stelter and has to DVR it and can't miss his show, or can sit there through an hour of Don Lemon and some of these other idiots?
Well, clearly that person doesn't even exist. We're seeing that in the ratings. We started covering this back in October, and we found out that, Peppa Pig was beating Brian Stelter not only in hair follicle count, but also in ratings when compared to reliable sources. This has been going on for a while. This is the bias. They're not forced at airports anymore. That ended last year. So, people at airports aren't forced to watch them as their airport network has gone down. So, this is what happens. People realize they don't really want to watch this, especially when you have folks like Cuomo involved with his brother's, sex scandal allegations. You have Don Lemon texting Jesse Smollett information. You have Don Lemon facing his own issues and lawsuits regarding an incident at a bar. Plus these producers at CNN that, seem to constantly get arrested for doing, criminal acts against minors. There's investigations into that. People keep seeing this. They keep hearing this. They don't want to be associated with this. Yeah, no, a bunch of sexual deviants over at CNN, too. And we've covered a lot of those stories. And then, you can't forget about Jeffrey Lubin Toobin, who's back on their panels. Sickening. And then they always have him weigh in with like all the abortion stuff. It's just so weird, the things that they have him weigh in on. Like, can't they find somebody else? And then I just looked up Peppa Pig. I didn't know that was a real thing. And Peppa Pig's pretty cute. I could see why more people would want to watch Peppa Pig than Brian Stelter. But I mean, I'm wondering what CNN's going to do. And I think it's because, back in the day, a long, long time ago, they used to be somewhat fair in some of their shows. They'd give like decent reporting and not on everything. Obviously, there's still bias, but it wasn't like it is today. It's just super hyper partisan and so politically against the conservative party. So they've driven away a lot of their audience, or maybe the people who were libertarians or independents. I mean, they're really just going for like one portion of the country. And it's like the radical left. Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to appease the radical left. All their coverage favors the radical left. They were upset this week with the Supreme Court ruling, that said basically that, you can't have an authoritarian mandate from the government forcing you to, get vaccinated or lose your job. That upset them. They were upset, that, oh, my gosh, conservatives don't think, these government agencies should have power that's, not authorized to them by the Constitution. This is shocking to them. This is unbelievable. Talk about a group of people that live in their own bubble, and they're finding out now that message really isn't breaking out outside that bubble anymore. People are tuning them out, and this is the reason. I don't know how long it will take for them to realize this. And you guys have an article over at Newsbusters at MRC. It says CNN spends almost 3 times more on January 6th hype than bad economic news. And, January 6th riots, like, we're against those, and we don't like people breaking in, committing crimes. That being said, the average person, I mean, do you think they want to spend hours listening to January 6th and the riot when they're dealing with things at home like prices at the gas pump and inflation and empty shelves? I mean, there's real issues that regular Americans are facing every day. And it seems, as you pointed out, that CNN and these talk show hosts are living in a bubble. It's like they don't care or don't know or just ignore the issues regular Americans face. Right. And what you're talking about, I think, was just Wednesday. That's when Kevin McCarthy said he wasn't going to testify before the January 6th committee at the House. They spent a lot of time talking about that. They spent a lot of time talking about the committee itself and the investigation. And like you mentioned, they spent nearly 3 times more airtime talking about that than they did the report showing that we have record 7% inflation. under Joe Biden. They don't want to discuss that. All they want to do is hammer Republicans, and which affects more Americans at home. 7% inflation when you go out and you get gas, you get food, and the shelves are bare. That's having more of an effect on Americans, and that's who they're not talking to.